Hey, how's it? This is the foundation. Kind of doing an off-season video. Um, I was going to mention a little bit things about the training camp, but you know what? There's an NFL game tonight, um, and it's the Hall of Fame game. And I've made videos before about Harvey Martin, getting into the Ring of Honor and into the Hall of Fame. Ed Tutal Jones, same thing. You know, um, Everson Walls and all that. Guys that should be, in the Hall of Fame, Everson Walls, Drew Pearson, damn it, Chuck Howley, bruh. I mean, I always forget that he's not in the Hall of Fame because that's how much of a legend he is. It's like I always think that he is in, but he's not in. He needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Um, you know, Harvey Martin, Ed Tutal Jones, like I said, Darren Woodson should be in the freaking Hall of Fame as well too. This one is kind of directed at Jerry Jones and to the NFL voters. A guy that's earned, deserves, and needs to be in the Ring of Honor, let alone the Hall of Fame, is Jimmy Johnson. I'm glad that Gil Brandt is in the Hall of Fame finally, long overdue. But Jimmy Johnson needs to be in the Hall of Fame as well too. Now Jerry is talking on the Ring of Honor side. As controversial as it was, what you did, the whole Tom Landry firing and all that kind of stuff. Yes, you're in the Hall of Fame and you made the Cowboys the most valuable sports sports team in all of entire world. Great. You don't get there without winning. Going back to the speech you gave in 1989. Shoots. You guys know the one I'm talking about. There's no substitute for winning. No, it's a cliche. We must win. We will win. Winning is the name of the game. You don't get all those deals. You don't get all those partnerships without winning. And Jimmy Johnson was a part of it. You know, I understand that in your opinion, that whatever feelings hurt and all that kind of stuff, whatever the animosity, whatever. Maybe it's on Jimmy Johnson's side too. But, you know, of all the credit taking of the credits, the Herschel Walker trade, the Charles Haley trade, the Tony Casillas trade, whatever. Jerry, you know, Jerry did probably his greatest move in hiring Jimmy Johnson. Now back then, everybody was like, "Oh, he hired his college body," which is, yes, taking a shot at Jerry, but it's also disrespectful to me as far as going after Jimmy because that kind of like devalues of why he was hired. Jimmy Johnson was a damn great coach for the U. I mean, he already replaced Howard. Howard. I get a hard time with his name, Schellenberger. Um, so he won a national championship without him and all that. And yes, maybe in Jerry Jones' marketing mind, the master of marketing, saw the attention, the national attention that the U was getting. Maybe that was one of his motives to getting him there. But winning is the thing, and all that. And now to the NFL voters and to Jerry, look at Jimmy Johnson's resume. He only has two losing seasons. He has one 500 season. His only two losing seasons is his first two seasons. After that, he's won a playoff game. He's won two Super Bowls. Some people even, to this day, even will argue, and well deserved, and probably a lot of people would agree that the reason why the Cowboys won the third was because of all the moves that all the talented players that Jimmy drafted, all his players, all his guys, won the that's their third Super Bowl and everything like that. And look at the Hall of Fames it produced. Hall of Famers it produced the triplets. So and soon to be Darren Woodson better get in there as well too. And it helped to get two more Super Bowls for Charles Haley and all that. But and all those other players that contributed to the team and everything. And then you look, he has overall winning record. He has a winning playoff record, 9-4. So that's on that side of it. Now to the storyline of it. You know, firing Tom Landry, the only coach that ever knew what that must have been like for for Jimmy to walk into that and go. And even though everybody was taking a shot at Jerry Jones, everybody knows that the quote unquote his college buddy. You only got the job, at that time. You only got the job because you was Jerry Jones' friend. So not only he was facing pressure on that sense or getting discredited by devalued in that sense, you know, at me growing up, as much as I thought it was disrespectful, firing up Tom Landry. This was growing up right when the decline was happening. And I was, maybe a lot of Cowboy fans was feeling the same way I did. Maybe it's time to move on and all that. So, the way it was handled, yeah. So Jimmy Johnson had to deal with all of that. And for some of the younger fans that don't really remember um, Tom Landry. I mean, I know they don't understand the history, but at that time, growing up and seeing Jimmy Johnson, the coach, that right there is like everything to these fans. Like, bruh, he brought back the winning championships, the Lombardi trophies back to the Cowboys after 14 years and everything like that. So, Jerry Jones is in the Hall of Fame because of that. I mean, that's not the only reason, but that's a huge part of the reason. And that's why the Cowboys was able to become more valuable to have all those earnings. Not only this because of what Tom Landry and what the past had do, it gave a shiny new look. Jimmy Johnson was a part of that and all that. So that's the thing. Jimmy Johnson, as a storyline, replacing Tom Landry, dealing with all that kind of stuff, and won 2 Super Bowls with that, and having a winning record, and all the resume I just said, he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Point blank. Jerry Jones, as a Cowboy fan, bruh. When I went to Texas and all that, every time I walk down and I taking videos, taking pictures, and I see the Landry hat, I see 88, I see Troy Aikman, I see all those great players, Randy White, Roger Staubach, all those great players. I want to see Jimmy in that area too. I want to see the next time I go into that stadium, I want to see that Ring of Honor. I want to see his name on there. Now you own the team, but then we as fans need to see that Jimmy Johnson thing. That's my video. Get Jimmy into the Ring of Honor. Jimmy Johnson deserves it. Jimmy Johnson has earned it. He needs to be in there. NFL voters, come on. Storyline and the winning. Jimmy Johnson has earned it, deserved it, and needs to be in the Hall of Fame. All right, that's my video. Mahalo for watching. Pony all the boys, and like always, go Cowboys.